Hi everyone, my name is Pamela and I am a workflow automation specialist and a low-code, no-code developer specializing in tools like Airtable, Make, and Zapier. And in today's video, I'm going to walk you through the process of importing and cleaning data in Airtable. So yes, you can clean data in Airtable without the use of external data cleaning tools like Excel, SQL, or Python. Now let's paint a scenario where you have to import data into a table and the data you intend to import is messy. Now, data integrity is a must, so you wouldn't want to have messy data laying around in your table. Now this is where cleaning data in table comes in. So no more rigorous data cleaning process outside Airtable. And I'll walk you through the process. As you can see on my screen, I have a table which was imported and cleaned. So this is the endpoint. We want a table that has a valid email column where all the records have valid emails and all the phone numbers have valid phone numbers in them. Now that's the end result. So we'll start with importing the data and then we'll clean it to achieve this particular table as the end result. So the first step is to import our data. Now before you import data, it's necessary that you build out your table. Now building out your table ensures that you structure your table exactly as the data you intend to import. Now what does this do? It helps you map your data efficiently, and it also helps Airtable determine the fields and position your data in the specific columns where it should be. So that means the first name goes to the first name column, the last name goes to the last name column, email, phone number, company, in that it continues in that way. So it ensures that your data is properly structured. If you don't do this, Airtable would just assume and place your data anyhow. So you might find emails in a single text field, but that is not what you want, and you don't want to go through the rigorous process of having to convert your fields. So it's always necessary to build out your table. So now, since the data I intend to import, it has a similar structure as the already existing table on my screen, what I'm going to do is to duplicate the table, but I'll be duplicating it without the records. So once I duplicate the table, I have a brand new table built out exactly as the data I intend to import. So I would go to my table and I would click on it. It would give me options. Now, an Airtable has different formats from which you can import your data. You can import it from another Airtable base, from a CSV file, a Microsoft Excel, Google Sheet, or you can do the normal copy and paste. But today we'll be using a CSV file. So I would click on the CSV file and I would pick the file I intend to import that contains the data I intend to import. And when I do that, Airtable would give me the option to upload the file. So that means I can decide to import any form of data as long as it's within the format that Airtable supports. So now it will detect the fields and it would give me a preview. So as you can see, this is a preview of the data I intend to import. But if you look at the first row, you see that it imported both the table headers, and I don't want that in my data because it's literally invalid. Now I can go about it two ways. I can decide to import and delete, or I can click on other settings and it gives me the option to exclude the first row, which I have done, and voila, the table headers are gone. Now let's take for example that after building out my table, I made a mistake in the type of field. I can come here and remap it. Now you see why it's necessary to build out your table before you import your data. It makes mapping easy. So if there is any mistake in the way I mapped my data, I can attend to it here, but everything is in order and I don't need to do that. So I'm going to remove that. Now it's also showing me that I'm importing 20,000 new records into my table, and with that I would click on import and Airtable would begin to import my data. So as you can see, my data is done importing into my table. Now when we look at the data we have, paying specific attention to the email field and the phone number field, we would see that certain emails found in the table are invalid. Now for example, record number 7, this is an invalid email, and if we look at the record number 3 in the phone number field, we'll see invalid phone numbers. So this data is of no use to me if it has this invalid format. I can't utilize it for anything. Let's say probably I want to run a lead campaign, it's of no use to me. So the best idea is to either update it or delete it, but I would want to delete it so that I'm sure that the data that I have is valid and is also useful to my clients. So I would delete this using the scripting extension. Now, an Airtable has two types of scripting options. The first type of scripting option is the run script, which is found in the automation part of Airtable, but that's not what we'll be using in this video. What we'll be using in this video is the scripting extension, which we find in the tools. So when you click on the tools section, it gives you extensions, and when you click on your extensions, you would find the scripting as part of the extensions in Airtable. Now, the scripting extension in Airtable uses JavaScript. So you're going to have to build your script using JavaScript, and you would prompt it to attend to the data as you want it to. So you give it certain instructions and the script gets to adhere to it. So now the instructions I have given my script is to ensure that any record that has invalid emails or any record that has invalid phone numbers, it's going to delete it. So here I have my script. My script has already been built out and inserted, and I would ask it to run. Now it would ask me to pick the table containing my lead data, and that's the data cleanup copy. And the next option is to pick the field, and that is the email field. Now you already know it is an email field it's supposed to go through, but it's asking me which particular email field do I intend to work with, and then it asks me which particular phone number field I intend to work with. And once I've chosen that, it would show me the instructions I have given the script. Now this is a way to confirm that the instructions I have given is what is being adhered to. So before you click, or rather before you the process continues, always ensure that the instructions you're giving or you have given is being adhered to based on what you see on your screen. And with that, it would begin to show me the console. Now it's showing me the console because I prompted my script to show me the console log. So it begins to flag, it shows me the console log flagging the records that are to be deleted, and it's telling me that it's going to check the 20,000 records for cleanup, and it will continue to flag it until it's done going through the 20,000 records, and then I can go ahead and delete the data. So as you can see on my screen, the script is done flagging all the records that need to be deleted, and it has asked me if I'm sure I want to delete 7,216 records, and there's a disclaimer telling me that this action is permanent. So I can go ahead and delete it, or if I don't want to delete it, I can cancel. But because I want these records to go, I would click on yes delete, and it would start deleting this records. And as it deletes the records, it would send me update. The updates would keep popping up on the screen. I think the max it can do per second is 50 records. So as the 50 records keep deleting, it would keep popping up. So you can see it has shown me deleting 7,216 records, and it would start loading. If you look at the table as the records are being deleted, you would see the records leaving the table. So you see the records are rearranging, and it's popping up showing me 50 records moved to trash, and it would keep updating the table as the records are being deleted. And it will continue this process until all the records are done deleting. So the script is done deleting the record, and it has shown me that the deletion is complete. So when we go through, since this is done, we would close our extension and then we would go over to our table. So when you check the email columns and the phone number columns, you would see that all the invalid emails have been deleted and all the invalid phone numbers has been deleted. Now you can decide to go the extra mile and prompt your script to ensure that the phone numbers are aligned in a particular format, or adheres to a particular number of digits in the phone number column. And this is how you clean data in Airtable. So next time you have messy data, you don't have to pass your data through Excel or SQL or Python to clean it. You can import it into Airtable and do your cleaning right here in Airtable. And I hope you use this method next time you have messy data to clean. My name is Pamela, and I am a workflow automation specialist and a no-code, low-code developer. So click the subscribe button and don't forget to follow for more videos. Thank you.